Hi friends, as you can see, my stack of books is getting smaller and the lighting is weird because I'm filming at night because I wanted to really read enough of this to do justice to the Franciscan Saints. So for our book review, I will say one of the first things you should do, if you're buying a book in a bookstore, you might want to not just read the reviews of it, but who wrote the reviews. And then, yeah, totally look at online. You can look at reviews and kind of get a feel for it there. Now this I bought in a bookstore and I was just so excited to have a book on the Franciscan Saints. I just like snatched it up, super excited, didn't know what I was getting into. So if you did not like yesterday's book, this is probably a book for you. And I'm going to go to the technical aspects first. The table of contents was really weird. I have never seen a centered, justified table of contents. It's awkward to read. I want to be able to see, you know, the title of it. It gives you the name of the saint. Sorry, by the end of the day, I'm so much worse in my hair. So it gives you the name of the saint, who they were, like whether they were a friar, a martyr, third order Franciscan. So that gives you that. And then the next line, it has their birth and death dates if they have them, and the page number they're on. So it's, I don't know, that's weird to have centered. The next one was the index. And I'm thinking, all right, well, maybe the index is better. And sure enough, if you come back here, the index is a normal, like, left justified 2-column kind of deal. And so I was excited at that. And then I realized, like, what's going on here? So it's like Agnes of Assisi, Agnes of Bohemia, Albert Chmielowski, Alighieri, Dante. It is a mix of first and last names first. Not cool. This person is a publisher and editor-in-chief of a book company. I would not have expected that from him. No, I don't want first names for some people and last names for others. That's weird. Like, I've never seen that in a book before, and I find it very awkward. Even the secular Franciscan Saints, I don't know their last names separate from their first names. So maybe if you're super deep in the Franciscan life, this is really easy for you to navigate. I mean, Colby Maximilian, okay, that's not so bad, right? But I would have looked for him under Maximilian. I don't know. It's very weird to have a mix. Like, pick one or the other. Like, I don't know. To me, that was just a weird way to have an index. Next, there's like a short biography of each saint, right? The largest one's probably on St. Francis. And it gives you a nice little thing. It's got their name, who they were, and the dates, again, like you can find in the table of contents. And then a short description, and it seems to always end with a quote. So here's St. Bonaventure's, and St. Bonaventure, we have a lot of his writings. So I was kind of surprised at the end, there's always a quote, right? I'll read it to you. If you learn everything except Christ, you learn nothing. If you learn nothing except Christ, you learn everything. And then it just says, St. Bonaventure. No. I may be too much of a nerd, Nick, and so some of you might not be as hard on this book. I'm like, dude, I want the citation. So most of the citations at the end of the chapter just say the person's name. Now, I will say, like, Isabella of France does tell you it's from the life of Isabella of France. Now, there's no like publisher, there's no other information, because obviously if you wanted to list a page number, it would depend on the particular edition of that you got. So at least it says what book it's from, but not, I mean, does that not have any chapters or anything? Could you give us anything else to narrow that down? Because one of the problems with modern quotes, especially with Franciscan saints, is often they're misquoted, they're taken out of context, or that saint didn't actually say that. And so being able to point at the actual source you got it from is a huge thing. And that's one of the things I loved about yesterday's book, right? The Franciscan Catechism, because it cited everything. It had footnotes, it had citations. Most of the quotes, even throughout the book, that as far as I've gotten, are pretty weak. It rarely tells you where it came from, just the saint that said it, or that somebody said it about the saint. It's just random to me. So if you like that kind of book, it's for you. I thought it was going to be like short biographies, that were just full of facts, or like chicken soup for the soul. I think, and I'm going out on a limb here, and I might get in trouble for this, but I feel like this is like chicken soup for the liberation theology soul. That tone, and I'm pretty confident in saying that from the people who have written the reviews. I think I'm pretty confident in that. There's definitely an angle to these that I'm not comfortable with, and they actually bring in the words cosmic theology as well. They're not hiding it. I think they're quite comfortable with the tone of the book, and some of the things that are said are not what I've been taught. And so I found it confusing, and I'm going to go back and look up. So again, like yesterday's book, even if it's not your Franciscan spirituality, it's going to be a good challenge for you and a good study aid, because now I want to look up those quotes. Now I want to know where he came up with some of those stories that I've never heard. So if you were one of my Franciscan mentors, expect these questions, because I was really confused by some of this. And so I'm making notes throughout it that I can ask people. I mean, it's even to the point of Brother Jacoba, that I've always been taught. She came to Francis and wanted to join him and the friars before the Poor Clares even existed. And this is saying no, that it was well after, and that she was invested in the Third Order. So that's really weird. And it has a completely different origin than for the name Brother Jacoba. It says they gave that name to her at his deathbed, which is nothing like I've been taught. And so, yeah, some of these stories, I mean, they may seem simple to you, but that's a major point to me. I feel like that's a major point in her life. So I'm very, very curious about this. Some of it's odd how it goes. So they're definitely focusing on service to the poor, and actual poverty, like the saints who gave up everything, the nobles who gave up everything. And we mentioned that in the book yesterday. How many, yesterday's book review, how many of those who joined the Franciscan order gave up everything to join that order, to live the gospel life. So that's a common theme between the two. This one goes more into it with the different saints. And so if that's the angle that you're looking for and you want to know about the saints, then that's what you're going to get. As to how many saints there are in here, there's a lot. There are a lot. You could probably take maybe a month to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, right, we did this the other day. There's roughly 13 to 15 a page, and there's like 4 pages of, yeah, so you could do this over the course of a couple months if you just wanted to read it one a day. Yeah, there's a decent amount here. Maybe it would take you 3 months to get through here. So overall, I'm sorry, I didn't like the format of the sections of the book. I did not like the lack of really solid citations for the quotes. He didn't list any of the sources. There's no bibliography. Like, wait a second, there's no bibliography in here. I find that very confusing. Why is there no bibliography for this? I find that quite random. But if that's the kind of book you like, you might really enjoy this. This is not for me. I like being able to look up the sources. I mean, over here I have an index to a 3-volume set of the early documents of St. Francis. Why is this not referred to? Like, why are those books not referred to at all? I don't know. I would love to ask him lots of questions about this book. Robert Ellsberg, I would love to ask him those, but I don't have them to interview. So if you like that book, let me know. If not, just have a blessed day. We'll be reviewing more books for the rest of the next couple weeks. God bless, friends. Amen.